Hey, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this thing. Hey, Dan here, and I want to look at Amazon. Okay, this was a stock, I mentioned this to my members on Thursday, that I don't generally open a trade right around earnings. I just don't. But I made an exception with Amazon, and I put on a very conservative bull call spread, buying like the 1870, I think, calls, and selling the 1900 calls. So, of course, about 3 minutes after Amazon reported their earnings, I realized that that was going to be a pretty big winning trade. It could have been a lot bigger if I'd taken more risk, but that's not what I do. So, okay, good for me. Yay. That was then, this is now. Now what are we going to do? So the stock opens up at 2050. A lot of analysts raised their price targets, and they did report a monster quarter. I'll tell you one thing. This is just how my weird mind thinks. With the whole coronavirus thing, I got to think that, of course, the airline stocks are down. The resort stocks are down. A lot of the retail names are down. Certainly the cruise ships are down. I mean, think about that for a minute. If I'm on a cruise ship, you know what? I'm jumping over and I'm going to take my chances with the sharks, because I know they're not sneezing or coughing or runny noses or whatever, so that's good with me. The bottom line is there are certain stocks, certain sectors that you should stay away from until they kind of get all of this stuff handled. And so that leads me to Amazon. I don't really hear too many people talking about this, and Amazon has a lot more than, hey, want to buy an exercise bike on Amazon. Seems to me like more people are going to tend to want to shop more on Amazon because they don't have to go out to do grocery stores, retail, stuff like that. And so with that, among other things, I don't think there's a lot of reason for Amazon to come back a lot. In other words, I don't really think this was I don't think this was a wrong move. I don't think it was a bad move. I think it was just pretty extreme. And so if we go look at this on, I wouldn't take these lines off. If we look at this with 3 standard deviations on these Bollinger Bands, this stock is way outside the 3rd standard deviation. Therefore, I'm looking at this as giving us more downside. I don't know how much, because the one thing about the price is when the stock is this far up above the Bollinger Band keeps going. And so it really doesn't take much for the stock to get back down inside this Bollinger Band like it needs to be. It needs to get that. So the stock may come down, but on the other hand, the Bollinger Band may come up. But either way, sooner or later, this is going to be inside the Bollinger Band somewhere. So how do we make a trade on this? Come Monday, what I would suggest doing, if you're an option trader, I would suggest selling like the 2050 calls, maybe March. There's not enough time left on the February contract. There'll be like less than 20 days, and on the March contract, they're getting close to 45 days till expiration, which is what you want to, really where you want to be selling options. I wouldn't buy puts. Well, you can short the stock if you want, but my call is this. I don't know how much lower Amazon's going to go. I do believe it's going to go lower. The whole market looks like it's going to go lower. But I don't know how low Amazon's going to go. I just have a pretty strong feeling that it's not going to go back here. Like, what would be the possible catalyst after they reported monster earnings and the stock's up so much? I mean, at one time, wasn't it up like 12% or something? After the company reports monster earnings, the stock has this kind of jump, and then it sells off, not a lot, but a little. Doesn't it seem to you like this area here would be where the bears live? Like, this is the area where if the stock gets back up there, there's going to be a lot of selling going on. So I think you've got a good trade if you're selling, say, these 250 calls. It's 2050, not 250, but the 2050 calls buy the 2150 calls for March, and right now you get about $18 for that. And then what you do is as soon as you sell that, then place a good till canceled order to buy it back for a 50% profit. And my bet is you probably have that trade under your belt within probably 2 weeks. So anyway, that's how I'm trading Amazon. I don't have a position open. Closed the one that I had for a nice profit. Booked some nice solid gains for the month of January, but come Monday, I'm going to be back in on this stock looking to play the downside. So also, I'm going to be trading live next Thursday at the open, and that's typically something that we make good money on. And so if you're not a member, why don't you sign up before then? Free trial, so it doesn't cost you anything, but you can sit in and trade along with me, Scott and Bridget and several of our other traders. So again, we usually make good money when we trade together. Not always, not a guarantee, but we usually do. So I invite you to come do it with us, okay? All right, have a good weekend.